Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems, and certainly want to welcome you here this afternoon. It is right at the top of the hour, and we are going to get started today. We certainly see a lot of folks that have already started joining here. But before we get started with anything else, let me remind you that today's topic is basically a step-by-step process of how to properly research your new business venture. Patrick and I are going to really be taking on about 10 different steps this afternoon to show you some of the things, some key elements of things you should be doing. And as you're researching your business opportunity, business venture, franchise, whatever you might want to be doing, this actually can be applied right across the board in so many different directions here. So sit back, relax. Certainly, you know that we're going to be taking questions for those that have joined us in the past. So let's get started here. Let me introduce myself. My name is Eric Auger. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems. All the different services that you see here today, we're not necessarily going to be going through a lot of these. We will mention them. However, next Wednesday, we're really going to be diving in really deeply into the iClaim and the EMRX platforms. So it's another thing that we're going to share with you towards the end about the upcoming webinar that we're actually going to have next week. But again, just today, you can see at American Business Systems, we have several different services to help you with not only the medical billing, which is the major part of what you are going to be getting into, but what's called medical revenue management. That's the key part. That's why we've got all these different services here at American Business Systems. To learn more about each of those services, just simply go out to our website. It's www.absystems.com. You can see there, once you land on that page, obviously watch that little video right there. That kind of gives you a good 30,000-foot view of what you might be getting into. Go underneath the business package area. That will tell you each one of the services there that you can literally start to dive into, and you can see at the bottom what's included, how much does it cost, how can I make money at it, and then what I need to do to get started. Certainly so much more. You can even take what's called our e-tour, which is our virtual brochure. You can certainly go to there and take a look at that through there. Obviously, one of the biggest things you need to be doing as you're properly researching your new business venture is check people out, and again, at a reputable place to verify whether they're taking care of the needs of the people that they're servicing. Ours is with the Better Business Bureau. You can see that we have an A+ rating. Patrick and I will talk about the Better Business Bureau today. Obviously, there's a lot of things on the internet that you can turn to that is not credible. You want to go to a credible, reputable place like the Better Business Bureau. Check us out there. We have an A+ rating, and you can see a lot of the reviews that are actually already posted there. So check out whatever industry, whatever business that you're looking at getting involved with, check them out on the Better Business Bureau. One of the things that you can also do is check out with people like our ABS licensees. It's one thing to check out something like the Better Business Bureau, but it's another thing whenever you can actually reach out and touch base with folks that are currently ABS licensees. You can see we've got them scattered throughout all of the United States. This is just a small sampling of those that will actually take your phone call and visit with you, because remember, these people that you're looking at here on the screen were on the call just like you. We called them out by name. And so, folks, these have started their medical billing companies. Again, you can see from coast to coast, nationalities, men and women. Folks, it can work for just about anybody. But again, check out the Better Business Bureau, and then check out our references here at American Business Systems. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the whole platform is iClaim and EMRX. This is the nucleus of everything that you'll be doing. This helps you do your medical revenue management right here. And again, through a little bit today, and then definitely next Wednesday, we're really going to dive into that. We'll even show you how to get a sneak peek of that if you'd like to see it even further. Another thing that you might want to do as you're researching your new business venture is come by and visit with us. Obviously, that's one of the biggest things you should be doing with anybody, and we welcome you to come by. Here's our address, 5751 Kroger Drive here in Fort Worth, Texas. We welcome folks to come by and visit with us. Matter of fact, we've already got some scheduled for this week and next week coming in. So if you're looking at trying to get involved and you want to check us out, feel free to do that. Even some people that are on the call today have actually already taken advantage of doing that with us. So you can go ahead and do that. Now, let me introduce you my co-host today, which is our CEO and founder of American Business Systems, and that's Patrick Phillips. Patrick is the founder and the chief executive officer of American Business Systems. He was once formerly an Apple executive here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area when Apple was actually located here in the Dallas area. He is not only a best-selling author, but actually creating a new book right now that should be coming out very soon. And he's on the editorial board of Billing and Coding Advantage magazine, which is one of the articles or the magazines we're going to be using today of showing you some very interesting things that's actually happening right now, some very recent articles of what's happening in the medical billing business there. But this is from the ICD-10 Monitor. Before we jump into that, Patrick, you want to explain what ICD is, the whole ICD-10 is, and then we'll kind of talk about how it's really affecting doctors right now?
Yeah, everybody who has looked at our business, getting into doing medical billing for doctors, knows that there's some codes of some kind. These odd numbers that you see on the piece of paper that the doctor gives you when you walk out the door. Usually, he gives you a copy of his super bill where he circles some numbers, these 4 or 5 digit numbers. Well, those codes just recently changed back in October of last year. The government came out with a whole new set of them called ICD-10. They were using ICD-9. Now they're the ICD-10. And those codes just kind of threw the whole medical billing field and doctors in a tizzy.
Right.
Because they're so new and there's so many more of them now that the doctors kind of got overwhelmed with those, and they wanted to make sure that they were using the right codes because that's how they get paid.
Exactly. And so we wanted to start off with this because, Patrick, a lot of people who have been really doing their due diligence, as you mentioned, these codes changed back in October of 2015, and a lot of people have asked, have I kind of missed the window of opportunity? And the reason that we're bringing this particular article, this one as recently as just yesterday, let's talk about windows of opportunity. I know you talk about that quite often, but what I want to share with everybody is that they have not missed that window of opportunity whenever it comes down to these codes right here.
Well, yeah, and the reason for that is because even though the government came out with the codes last October, they've been very lax in whether or not the codes are that accurate, and they will continue to do that until October 1st of this year. So what is this, March 9th, and then of course we got April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's what, 6 months away, and all of a sudden they're going to tighten all those guidelines up. And if the doctors don't submit the correct codes by this October, they won't get paid. It's that simple. That's why this article is so crucial here for you to understand that you have these next 6 months to really go out there and market your services to doctors because they are scared. And our system has all these new codes built into the system where they don't have to worry about them and they will get paid accurately. But as she says there, this is, issues that might affect productivity, risk, and cash flow in a doctor's office. And that's what we're all about, is helping with that cash flow.
Well, I like how that sentence just actually starts off there. She says, it is time to perform an assessment of your facility or practice in order to evaluate your ICD-10 progress, therefore that you can uncover these potential issues. And that last thing there, what's the biggest issue that doctors are faced with? Cash flow. It just gets down to, folks, if they're not using the correct codes, these doctors aren't going to get paid. So we wanted to open up with that one right here, and everybody's still sitting very well, not missing the boat here. The next one that I came up with, Patrick, is again from the magazine that you're on the editorial board from Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. This one was just back in January, so just a few weeks ago, the end of January. But there was an article there that caught my eye. It says, is patient collections the next big thing in medical billing? You would think doctors are collecting from patients, but it says here the industry has been so focused on preparing that ICD-10 that another big issue has been slipping under the radar. The growing percentage of patient due accounts, their accounts receivable, according to a report from McKinsey & Company, patient due amounts now make up 30% of the practice's AR.
Yeah, so in addition to billing the insurance companies and Medicare for the services that a doctor provides, there are many patients who don't have insurance, or maybe they thought they had insurance and it turns out that they weren't eligible for this visit. In any case, there is millions of dollars in accounts receivables from the patients themselves. Now, if somebody has insurance and their insurance is really good and it's covering everything, most people can't relate to this, that they could actually owe a balance to a doctor. But believe me, lots of money slips through the cracks and the doctors are losing millions of dollars. There have been doctors that our licensees have gone out and seen, Eric, that in a drawer somewhere was stuffed all these accounts receivables from patients in $500,000 up to $1 million.
Right. Look at the rest of this quote. Now, folks, you're going to have to go out. We've got the article, the website right up there at the top, so you can go right to it. This author says, unfortunately, practices have been slow to catch up with this trend. Only 35% of patient-owed dollars are collected up front, even though billing expert Elizabeth Woodcock says that collecting after the fact costs practices twice as much.
Yeah. So it
go ahead.
boils down to this, folks. It's a huge problem. And you can help solve that because we have service. Well, first of all, through our billing system, it picks up what the patient owes. It checks for eligibility before the patient even comes in. So it eliminates that problem completely in some cases. And it can actually do the patient statement billing for you behind the scenes. I mean, we literally print and mail all the statements for you. You don't have to do a thing. Plus, we have a service that you can offer to doctors to collect the past dues from those patients as well. So we can literally pick up another 20, 30% revenue for a doctor without them having to lift a finger.
And that's what we were talking about right there in the beginning, that all those different services creates that medical revenue management of what you, as those that are listening to the webinar today, can actually do. And then the last part of this was just almost incredible. She goes, even worse, the longer it takes to collect, the less amount is collected. By 120 days past due, only 50% will be collected, and 1/3 of patients will walk out the door without ever paying a dime of what they owe.
Yeah,
it's right there in front of them, and they can't even do it. And it's because of either bad software or they're too busy, and no one's paying attention. No one's managing the bank account, basically.
And Eric, we're kind of like in the middle of all this, so we tend to forget that people who are brand new looking at this industry don't realize what a huge problem this is for doctors. There are doctors who literally had to shut their doors because their cash flow came to the point where they couldn't pay their bills, they couldn't pay their employees, they couldn't expand and add new equipment and so forth. So folks, when you are out in the marketplace, it's kind of like I tell people, it's like selling popsicles in the Sahara Desert. That should not be a hard job, right? Well, this is why our licensees find it so easy to engage with doctors, because when you start talking about their cash flow, they're all having problems with their cash flow, 100% of them in some area or another.
And then our last one, and this is the one that Patrick, you sent me, why your billing process could be hurting your bottom line. This is incredible here as well, because, I mean, if we just, why don't you just take this, kind of read through it, because there's 2 slides to this one, so I'll let you kind of take this one since you're the one that sent this to me.
Yeah, so basically what they're saying here is that in 2016, most practices are looking for ways to increase their bottom line. Well, that's good news for us because that's what we do. That's what our licensees do. Providers everywhere are looking for new processes that can be easily implemented to decrease cost while increasing efficiency. Thanks to an ever-changing industry, it seems like overhead is consistently rising, making it difficult for those who want to stay independent to do so. Now, Eric, let me address that for a moment. What they're talking about here is that doctors are being bought up by hospitals and large groups because they don't have the efficiency, they don't have the cost containment that they need, they don't have control over their revenue. And that's where our licensees step in and basically save the day. We have licensees that you can talk to, folks, that will tell you that they have run across doctors who are about to close their doors, and they salvage them and help them stay independent and in private practice.
Yeah, that's the big thing right there. And so many people are worried about, well, aren't there so many doctors that are leaving private practice that are getting bought out by hospitals? What you have to understand, doctors want to remain independent. They want to, but sometimes just because of the bottom line doesn't allow them to do that. And then the last part of this, it says here that many healthcare providers are afraid to touch their current billing process because they hold to the idea if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Patrick, how many times, even in your career outside of medical billing, that a lot of businesses have just gone under because they didn't think it was broken, so let's don't try to fix it.
Well, even doctors, will tell some of our licensees that, well, look, I don't think I have anything wrong with my billing at this point because I get checks every week in the mail from the insurance companies and from Medicare. Well, of course they get checks. They're bound to be getting some checks. They couldn't stay in practice. What they don't realize is those checks could be much larger. They're
Mm-hmm.
leaving money on the table because they don't have efficiency in the office. Look, yes, they can do their own billing using their own staff, buying software and doing it themselves. But folks, they are losing money, as we'll show you and prove to you here a little bit later in the webinar.
Right. That last part. What if we told you this mindset could be costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per year? Do we have your interest yet? That's how this article goes. So, folks, take advantage of these articles. Patrick's going to be sending you a copy of this slide decks here in just a little bit, and you'll be able to see all of this here all together. Patrick, let's get started by the step-by-step process here. Let's start off with step number one. What should they be doing? So here we go. This is step number one. So folks, get your pens and pencils out, start typing in your questions. So here we go. Check out the company first.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? What most people don't do, though, Eric, is what they should be doing, and that's to check out a company in all these different ways that you see here on the screen. In other words, checking out the company and making sure that they're real. One of the ways you can prove that they're real is because they don't do all their training over the internet or over the phone. They do it
Right.
live in a live workroom, classroom situation. And that's why we tell people spend the week here in Dallas, focus on this business, go through everything that we have for you from licensees who are actually running their own businesses. That's who teaches our classes, and
Mm-hmm.
me and my staff, and learn from the people who've been doing this for 22 years live. Well, anyway, we'll cover all these things, of course, as we go through this, but that's one of the ways.
Certainly.
And you mentioned earlier, Eric, checking out the Better Business Bureau. Now, let me just touch on that just for a second, too, because that is very important that people know that the Better Business Bureau is one of the only places out there on the web that you can really, really trust. They've been around since 1917, and they have
Right.
just about every business in the world, in every city in the world, in their database. And when people have a problem with a company, they go and report it to the BBB. And when they
Right.
do, that gets reported on their website. So for a company like ours to have an A plus rating, there is no higher rating. That is the highest. There's not a triple A or a double A or a triple A. This is it, A plus. It means you can't get any better, and it just means that it doesn't mean that we haven't had complaints. I mean, in 22 years, we have had a few complaints. I mean, literally a handful. I think there's one or two that's out there that have been resolved, but they haven't, completely disappeared from the website. But it means that a company is willing to work with those people and deal with those complaints, and not just tell people, forget it, go away. So that's what that means, and it's very important that you know how to check that out on the Better Business Bureau side. Even there's a thing out there called an accreditation. So Eric, we might even address that for folks, huh?
Yeah, let's do that because I did put up the definition because people were going to see that. They're going to see, well, we see the A plus rating, but it also shows that American Business Systems is not BBB accredited. And so if you go down and you just click on that button, it tells you what it means. And basically, in just simple format, and you can certainly read through this, but it just means that we haven't joined that particular local Better Business Bureau. Patrick, you want to kind of explain all of that here a little bit better than probably I can here.
Well, the Better Business Bureau is a membership. Some people don't realize that, but for a company locally to be a part of the accreditation process of the BBB, they have to join. That means they have to pay $1,000 fee per year or something like that to be a member. Now, ABS has not had to do that. The only reason a company would want to do that is because they are having problems, right? Their rating
Right.
is not an A plus, and they want to become a part of the Better Business Bureau to try to work through some things. Now, if we ever got to the point where we needed to join and be accredited, we would do that. But again, you
Right.
need it very clear here. It's not we're not under obligation to join them, and there's no need to pay that $1,000 a year if you are doing what you say you're going to do in the marketplace. And dealing with people on a one-on-one basis. We basically do business with people the way we'd want them to do business with us. And if you do that, you'll maintain an A plus rating.
And then lastly, about checking out a company, a lot of people want to know, is this a public company? Is it a traded company? Is this a privately held company? You want to talk about how ABS is set up?
Yeah, we are a privately held LLC in the state of Texas. This is a letter that we have our lawyer write for us that you're welcome to get a copy of it if you'd like to see this. But basically, the summation of it is that he's known us for many, many years and gives us a history of our company and says that we're registered in the state of Texas as a limited liability corporation and is in compliance with all Texas laws and are up to date on all requirements from the state comptroller's office. So again, it's just kind of a reassurance. We're debt free. We've never borrowed money. We never owed any money to anybody. And so that's pretty unusual for a company that's been around for 22 years. It's a family-owned business. As you'll find out when you come down here to training, you'll get to meet my son, Adam, who's the president of the company, and my daughter, Sarah, who's actually one of our business coaches. So we're proud of the fact that we run this as a family business. We are very profitable. At the same time, we're very dedicated to the success of each one of our licensees.
Yeah, and it's nothing different than what people that go into business to become a medical billing company anyway. I mean, all of our licensees are privately held companies. Most of them are family type of businesses anyway, and most of them run as a limited liability company. So it's really nothing different than what our licensees do. So that's a good way to check us out. So always check out the company as you're getting started in your business process. Now, step 2. What's the second thing you ought to be doing? Well, as you're doing that, you need to talk about funding. How are you going to fund the business? And Patrick, I know gets a lot of questions about, does ABS do I have to pay that full $24,990 up front? Do I have the opportunity to kind of spread it out over some payments? Does American Business Systems do funding? You want to talk about funding and then actually some of the better ways to actually find some funding.
Yeah, our licensing fee is $24,990. That is, it's about $25,000. And folks, the reason we set that fee for where it's at is because in today's world, many, many franchises and business opportunities are much, much more money. But we've modeled our business so that we actually make money on the transactions that go through our system. Now, that doesn't come from you. That comes directly from our technology partners that we work with on our services. But here's the point of all that. The funding is, we feel like, very reasonable. We don't finance that ourselves, but we do have funding sources that we'll talk about here, some of the ways that people have figured out how to fund it. So when you're looking at any new business, that's a big deal. I know it's a lot of money to a lot of people. At the same time, it's a very small amount compared to other business opportunities and franchises that are out there. So you have to take your pick as to whether you think that a company is worth investing that kind of money in their business. Especially if they have a no money back guarantee, which we'll also talk about. That's important that you know that you could get your money back if for some reason you felt like you had made a mistake in investing.
Absolutely. I'm going to answer one of these questions. I'm going to skip down here to Myra's. Hope I got your name, Mayra. Maybe that's how you pronounce your name. What is your royalty percentage? There is no royalty fees. There's no franchise fees with the $24,990. It is a one-time fee with us, so you're free to be able to grow that business as large as you want to, because all the proceeds, everything that you make from the doctor actually go back to you. So there's no percentage fees. The reason we have this up here as unsecured loan versus secured loans, some people with good credit can go out there and get an unsecured loan. Some of you might need a little help with some secured loans, and that would be maybe towards some housing things that you could do this with. We've got here, the reason why we've got this X'd out here, small business loans, the SBA, because for folks, what you want to do, if you go to a bank, I'm speaking because my son is a branch manager of a bank, and he says, Dad, the best way to people to get $25,000 is to go ask for a personal loan. For whatever reason, you're going to probably get approved that way before you go with small business, because he says this: if you walk in and say, I need a personal loan or a personal line of credit for $25,000, you fill out one piece of paper. But the minute you say small business, you go into a different category, you step into a different line, and you go from filling out one piece of paper to a stack of papers, and then they need your business model, they need this, that, and the other. They want to make sure you've been in business for at least 2 to 3 years in this particular business. So that's why we're sharing with you. Don't try to go down the SBA loan. Don't try to go down the small business loan application. Stick with, whenever you come to banking, stick with more personal, what's called personal lines of credit, if you can do that.
You could add on a room to your home or a sunroom out back and spend more than $25,000. So it's not hard to justify getting a loan for anything that you wanted to improve at your home there. Sometimes they'll ask for some sort of collateral. For example, you might put up your car or your car title or something like that to get a loan if you don't have perfect credit. But the point that Eric is making there is that it's much easier to borrow money to add on a room to your home than it would be to go out and borrow money for a business that you haven't started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many people, Patrick, we know that people try to go down the SBA route, and the SBA just takes them on this never-ending loop. And they never get anything. They just never get anything. But you kind of come up with this, and I think you've gotten this from from other resources. But you say that 60% of startups directly come up from business owners themselves, or personal credit cards, or home equity loans, or private investors. I mean, these are the things that we want to certainly discuss right now. And then we've got one source called Guidant Financials that we can certainly talk about today as well.
Yeah, for example, a lot of people don't realize that a huge number of small businesses in America, according to Entrepreneur Magazine, are funded with the owner's personal credit cards. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all of those are great sources for funding because you already have a credit limit probably on each one of them. We've had licensees put part of this investment on 4 different cards like that, haven't we, Eric? Because they didn't have the full $25,000 limit on one of them. That's okay because you're basically self-funding your business and being able to pay it out. Now, the interest is not what you would normally get on a true personal loan at your bank, perhaps. It may be a little higher, but depending on your credit, this may be the only way that you have to raise funds, and it's a very valid way to do that. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. The other way is through a home equity loan. We know of folks that have actually done that here recently, of just pulling out a little of their equity out of their home to start their business. They're self-funding it. It just kind of gets wrapped up into the mortgage back into there. And basically, you're taking a loan out from yourself. It's just that's what you're doing here. So certainly you want to look into ways, if you've got some equity built up in your home, you're looking for a way to be able to fund this business. A home equity loan is certainly a way to go. Talk about private seed money, Patrick, about how different people can work with individuals of actually, and maybe even small companies that do that.
Well, you can also just consider some of your friends or relatives who want to invest in your business as business investors. Get part of the money from one person, part of another. You can combine some loans from some of your fellow relatives and friends, and just let them help you build this business from scratch. Folks, we don't go into that in detail in this particular webinar, but you'll see on our website that there's a way to calculate the kind of money that you can earn from just one doctor. Could easily pay back that $25,000 in the first year. So it's not hard to justify investing the kind of money that we're asking for in this business because your return on investment can be so rapid in the business.
Exactly. And we do have a partner that will help us and help you here at American Business Systems. We've got the website right down below, right there at the very bottom. You see guidantfinancial.com/pre-qualification www.ecom.com/American-Business-Systems. That'll get you to our landing page with Guided Financials, and they can help you with finance a small business. And you can see here right there, right at their top, some of these options could include a 401k rollover. Some it might be SBA loans. They know how to do that. And then unsecured credit. So that is the quickest way, and they're actually on our website that you can click on a link from our website to get there and go right directly into there. And then it takes 5-10 minutes to kind of get through everything that you want to get through in that funding area.
I just sent that link through the chat here.
Good.
Go to webinar too, so you can just click on that when the webinar is over and go out there and browse on their website and see how they can help you there. Okay, Eric. Step 3. What's step 3 in investing?
Step 3 is about pre-marketing, and I know a lot of people, whenever they're properly trying to research a new venture or a new business, they kind of want to go out about what they think about pre-marketing. Maybe they don't call it pre-marketing, but they kind of go out there and they do a little bit of their own due diligence to see, kind of test the waters to see if they should be able to do this. You want to speak to this because I know that you really do like to speak, directly to people about potentially what could happen if they go out there too soon in their marketing.
Well, the first thing is that you can burn up some of your very best leads. If you go, for example, to your own personal doctor and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting into this business, what do you think about it? He may start asking you questions that you can't answer, and all of a sudden you look like you don't know what you're talking about. Well, the reason is you don't know what you're talking about until you go through our training and get the answers to those questions. You would know what the answers would be. So you got to be very careful there. And I've had many, many people, licensees who we've told this to, and when they come to the training and see why, by the end of the week, they'll say, Patrick, I'm so thankful that you told me don't go out and pre-market, because I would have blown some of my best, contacts that are out there.
Exactly. However, there are some things that you can do in your pre-marketing, or what we call more market analysis. And that is one of even the ways that we teach in class is how to do some network marketing. But these are folks that are already dealing with the doctor. Patrick, you want to kind of share with everybody how this works? Because, you're the king of warm marketing and know how this actually happens.
Well, first of all, Eric let it slip that you can do some network marketing, and he did not mean that. What he meant, that's like Amway, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
You can do some networking and
there you go.
marketing when you're just going out and networking with other people in different business situations. But here, for example, we're talking about talking to the people that you know in your close association. Maybe you have a CPA or an attorney, a real estate agent even, medical sales rep. Maybe you have a relative who's a medical pharmaceutical rep or something like that. You can talk to those people and ask them what they think about this industry, the medical industry in general, and billing specifically. And then by visiting some of the business networking groups in your area, you could actually contact people there that might have contacts and do some, like you said, market analysis. That's just asking questions about the market itself and whether there's really a need out there in the marketplace. And we know that you'll find that there is.
And actually, we've got some help on our website. We're just kind of showing this a little bit, but if you were to go to our website, and you can see that here's that title bar that kind of goes right across the bottom, or right across the top there, about where it says About Us, Business Package, and Income Potential. Click on Income Potential, and there are 3 categories that you can choose from right there: Medical Billing Income Calculator, Income Replacement Calculator, and then one that says Find Doctors in My Area. Patrick, this is a great resource for people just to kind of see how many prospect clients that are actually in their areas, and we've got to divide it out just like this. We've run this several times, and there are a lot of doctors out there.
Yeah, in any given area, when you put in your zip code and then pick one of these categories here, starting with maybe just the family doctors or medical providers that are in the area, there are literally sometimes thousands of them. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think there's several thousand. Oh, there's a picture and what it would look like. We kind of tied it in with Google Maps, and as you can see, it shows all the little red dots there in that area. and it will give you a good feel for how much is out there. Now, that's a great way to do some pre-market analysis of what your market has out there. You'll see the potential is just so huge you could never ever contact all those doctors.
Right, and this one actually shows just in that little small scope of zip codes about 9,300 potential clients that could just be in your area,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
yeah, he's pointing it to it right there on the screen. It's a little bitty number, but yeah, that's and Eric, people don't realize until they go out there and do a little bit more research on our website that the income potential for one doctor could be thirty to $35,000 a year. So how many of those
exactly.
9,321 doctors do you need to make a fairly
Right.
decent revenue?
Right, it doesn't take much. So just find one of those, and that's what we help you with here at our training class. All right, let's look at step 4 here. Step 4 is something that you should be looking at again, and that is the company's personal website, and what we have is what's called our virtual brochure. It's kind of a step-by-step process. But Patrick, just talking about our website alone, it's the the people that take care of our website just do a tremendous job of making sure that the information is out there correctly.
Yeah, and part of researching any business, of course, is to just tear their website apart. I mean, literally go to every page and read every word and click on every link that you can. If you find a bunch of broken links, for example, or things that are outdated, that tells you a lot about the company right there. Folks, you'll see that ours is up to date. We even have under the news tab there a blog that you can go to, and literally we're posting to that blog 2 or 3 times a week. So it's not
Yes.
only up to date, but it's providing you some very valuable information. For example, I think Adam just posted my recent article in BC Advantage Magazine, which was on how you can build your own medical billing business by hiring sales reps. I share that
Right.
information with everybody that's out there because, folks, we're going to give you in our live training workshop so much detailed information that I couldn't begin to share everything in an article, but it'll give you a good feel for that could be one of the ways that you build your business without ever having to do any marketing yourself.
Of course, and that alone, I mean, we've talked. I think even last week in the webinar we did last week was about are you afraid to sell, and how can I do this without having to feel like I have to go sell everything? And one of the things that Patrick just mentioned is also utilizing sales rep here. Step 5. Let's get to this part. What are people saying? What are the people that have actually become ABS licensees? What are they saying? Patrick, you do a lot of testimonials. Matter of fact, you've got 2 or 3 of them that you actually got scheduled coming up in the next few weeks.
Yes. Our licensees are signing up more doctors now, Eric, than they ever have in our 22-year history. I think it's all the different things that are converging right now in the medical industry. But the point is that our licensees are being so successful that I'm having a hard time now getting with all of the licensees that I'd like to interview to take an hour of their time and actually have a webinar like this where I interview them live. So, for
Right.
example, I think it's next week that I have one coming up, or maybe it's the week after that. Anyway,
We got
these are live, and you, while you're on there, can ask questions just like you can ask questions today in the question box there. Ooh, we've got several questions coming up there. But he's showing one
yeah.
here with Tim Warren that I did a while back. There's another one there I think he's going to show you, but they're all out there on the blog, folks. And you will see there are literally over the past, I don't know, that goes back 5 or 6 years, I think, Eric. There's dozens of these interviews of people who've done the due diligence that you should be doing on our business. Hey, they come through the training, and they're out there building a very successful, profitable business.
Exactly. I'm going to answer Brandon's question here, and I think it refers back to the step 4, where you're doing some due diligence. You're kind of running through that. He's asking, are these the clients that don't already have a medical billing service? No. What that is just all the doctors that are actually in your particular area. There's no way for us to figure that out. Matter of fact, Brandon, what you'll find out as you start to do some of your marketing, you're going to find out that this is kind of a liquid type of a business. What I mean by that is that you're going to find some doctors who have started off doing medical billing in their office. They've outsourced it. They've brought it back in and they see that it's still a disaster with them trying to do it back in, and they're looking for a medical billing revenue management company that can actually take care of it and take care of it once and for all. So be one of those folks that those doctors are looking for. That's what you want to be able to do.
Yeah.
All right, step number 6. I think we're doing pretty well on time, but not only can you listen to these webinars, but you can actually talk to folks that are actually licensees. Patrick, I know that Renee is one that certainly will talk to anybody, but besides him, we've got a huge list of folks that people can talk to.
We rotate through licensees who have agreed to take a few minutes out of their day to take a phone call now and then from people like yourselves. So, folks, if you want to talk to people and get the real story, don't just attend these webinars. Eric and I might not tell you all the details and all the facts about this business, right? Because we have a vested interest in wanting you to get into the business. But these people are people who've been through the training. They did pay the $25,000. They've completed the training. They've started their own business. And we don't tell them what to say. We can't control that. You can literally call some of them up, and if they have their own commercial office space, which a few do, they'll even let you come by. Literally,
right.
Fly out and visit them there in their offices. So that's the best way to get the true story about any business opportunity or franchise. Talk to people who've actually got the business out there going.
Exactly. Yeah, folks, and please get with us. We'll certainly give you a list to start making some of these calls. And again, remember, these folks were where you were, and they'll be happy to take your call because they remember the fears, the anxieties, and everything that kind of goes along with that as they're making their decisions.
So ask your ABS business development coach that sent you the email about this webinar. Just get back with that person and say, look, I'd like to talk to some of these folks, and they'll put you in contact with some of them and let you speak to as many as you wish.
Yeah, absolutely. Step 7, let's check out the industry. Now, these articles that we're showing you right here, these are kind of dated. There's no doubt about it. But if you've been on any of our webinars, Patrick and I, just like today, we went through 3 different articles just within the last 3 to 4 weeks, and some as early as just 2 days ago. You need to be checking out the industry. Now, we put these up here. There are 3 of them that you ought to be checking out. Medscape is one. Fierce Practice Management is another. Healthcare Finance News. Every one of these has their own email blog. So if you're seriously looking to get into the industry, sign up, have these emails start coming directly into your email box so you can keep up with what's going on as well. Maybe you'll find an article that we didn't show here on one of our webinars, but this is what we do. Patrick and I scour these. Adam and the rest of the team, we all scour the information, again, to kind of get you as much information as we can back to you.
Yeah, check out the different news magazines. There's literally printed magazines like BC Advantage that you can actually subscribe to and start learning more about the industry as well. You can go to their website, billing-coding.com, and find out more about the magazine itself. This is the one that I'm on the editorial board, but there's lots of them out there. Just do your research, Google it, and find some others that are out there.
Yep, absolutely. And attend trade shows. Find one that might be in your area or within the, a driving distance, 20, 25-mile radius. If you're truly looking to get into this, check out the industry. Find out what's going on in your industry, and then I don't think we even have this, but folks, what you could do is in your county, usually there is a medical society for your county. Here in the Fort Worth area, we live in the Tarrant County area, and that Tarrant County area has a Tarrant County Medical Society. We would encourage you to go there. Go there and check out the industry from there.
Yeah, and then of course there's other medical billing companies in your area. Obviously, they've been around and they're probably doing the billing for some doctors. It could be that you could call and just ask some questions of some of those companies and find out what they would share with you. Now, remember, they consider you, if you tell them that you're going to start your own medical billing business, a competitor. So they may not want to share a whole lot with you there, but you can at least do some research and find out what they charge percentage wise, for example, and what types of doctors they have as clients and that type of thing.
Sure. Wilma asked that, would you repeat that information again? Okay, I'll repeat it again. In your county, there is what's called a medical society. That's where your doctors in your county get a lot of their information. Check out your local medical society. Here in Fort Worth, ours is Tarrant Medical Society. You know, Dallas County is going to be Dallas County Medical Society. Find out what county you're in. If we know here in Texas, there's another one called Harris County, the Harris County Medical Society. You can find out these. Just Google your little area, find out, type in your county name with medical society right next to it. You'll find that information. Go start chatting with them too as well. All right, looks like we're doing okay on time because we've got a few more of these. Step number eight is plan a visit. Go see who you might go into business with. Patrick, you want to talk about, people that have come through here and what to expect?
Yeah, we'll sit you down in our conference room and show you a demonstration of the actual software itself, let you ask all the questions you wish about that. We'll tell you anything and everything you want to know about us as a company. You'll get to meet all of our staff while you're here. And we'll even pick you up at the airport if you fly in. Just let us know that you're coming. And this is a good way to get to know across the table, eyeball to eyeball, who you're actually
Right.
getting involved with in a business. I think it would be a good investment of your time and money to come visit, but that's always up to you. It's not a requirement. We have many, in fact, I guess most of the people who come through our training never show up at our offices here ahead of time, but we're certainly open to that. And if a company doesn't have a place that you can come and visit with them and you can actually see their offices and meet their staff, then again, that might give you a clue that they're maybe working out of their trunk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious. All right, step number 9. Let's get into this. Start building a plan. Everything starts taking a plan of action. We actually have in a PDF format what's called a medical billing business special report. Again, just get with your ABS business coach that you're working with. We can certainly get you a copy of this, but it all starts with a plan. Now, what we're not telling you have to go do is get a business plan. That's not what this is. This is, you only need a business plan is if you're going to go to the bank. And if you're going to try to get funding and you're asked for a business plan, just know that you're going to be put on a long road with the possibility of not getting that loan. So that's not what we're talking about here. We're literally talking about how to build a plan on what you need to be doing. And one of the ways that can be started is checking this particular report out here.
Yeah, and then both of my books, of course, have valuable information in there about actually starting a business. First of all, the How to Reprogram Yourself for Success is an important book if you don't have the mindset of an entrepreneur and know how to think positively about starting your own business. And then the detail is in the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow book. You can find both of these on Amazon. I think you're going to show the actual pages there, aren't you, Eric, of the actual books? But you can go there and order those books. They're available there. But if you get back with your ABS business development coach, they can send you a PDF copy of the Cash Crunch book, for example. So just after that, we'll be glad to send that to you so you can read it online so you don't have to order the book itself. And you'll get a better picture of what this business is all about. It's kind of like the Bible of this industry.
Absolutely. And folks, we do encourage you to get in touch with us, get back with us. We'd love to get you a copy of that. And you talk about building a good plan. It's kind of knowing what to do and, kind of seeing behind the scenes before you even, invest with yourself with us here at American Business Systems. All right, the last step that we're going to talk to you about is this, and that is you got to be able to know the product. Absolutely, with at least with us, we're not going to be able to send you a sample of some piece of equipment or a sample of a pen or something that's like that that we create or do.
Yeah, the software doesn't come on a CD. That's kind of the old trend. In fact, my Mac computer here doesn't even have a place to put this thing. So,
A little side story here, Patrick. I was talking with someone just yesterday who's been involved in creating videos for certain people, and he says the DVD market has just kind of gone away. He's having to reinvent himself because nobody's watching DVDs anymore. Everything's online, and so we're well ahead of that game, and we've been like this, gosh, for the past 5 or 6 years. So the best way, and I kind of look at it like this, the best way to kind of test drive the system is to hop in on and get involved on a GoToMeeting with us. And Patrick, there's nothing better else that someone could do to really see behind the scenes until they actually get a demo scheduled.
yeah, and we'll do this one-on-one with you folks. It's not in a webinar situation like this. We literally set up a time and set up a meeting just to show you our system and answer all of your questions about it. Because again, it's a very proprietary cloud-based system. It doesn't come on a CD that you stick in your computer. It doesn't reside anywhere but on our servers. In several geographic locations, by the way. So the point is that it's a very secure, very easy way for you to get not only a picture of what this business and system's all about, but also what we do for you. We actually do these demos for you, for your prospective clients. And no charge whatsoever. We're doing these demos on a daily basis for licensees all over the country. We've got about 5 people that's all they do is those live demos.
Right. Well, Patrick and I want to invite you to get with your business coach, and if you're seriously looking at this business, get with us, and we will happily schedule and do a demo for you. So there you go. Not only can you get the ebook on Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, you can get back and get set up and get a demo scheduled for yourself.
Right. Well, Eric, there's the steps that people should be taking to properly research a new business. I hope that was helpful to everybody. Let's talk about our money-back guarantee, 100% money-back guarantee. We're the only company in America that I know does something like this, especially that does live training. You can come to our live training workshop, folks, and if at the end of the workshop, for any reason, you don't think this is the right business for you, it doesn't matter. You may just not like, the way Eric parts his hair, or the fact that I don't have any hair. It could be that you just don't like anything about our business, and it's okay. You ask for your money back, and we give you every penny of that licensing fee, that $25,000 back. We don't keep a penny of that. Now, you are out what it took you to get down here, and the hotel is about $600 or $700 for the week there to stay at the hotel. But folks, that's very little to invest in finding out if a business is what we say it is. And that's the best way to do it, is just come experience the workshop, and you'll see by the end of the workshop that it's all we say it is and more. Otherwise, we could stay in business with a guarantee like that.